Heather, I'd like you to conduct this week's Lunch and Learn training session.
Okay, but I'm not really sure what I should cover.
Ask that English guy for help.
Mostly when people get asked to lead a meeting, they focus on what they're going to say, what slides they're going to use, what topics they're going to cover. But this is looking at it the wrong way round. Think about it. What are the meetings that you've enjoyed the most? Are they the ones where you've sat still for hours on end listening to other people? Or are they the ones where you've been in the thick of it, getting your point across, debating and discussing with everyone else? Chances are, the meetings that you've enjoyed the most are the ones where you've contributed the most. And you want people to enjoy your meeting too. You want them to look back and say, hey, that was great. And they won't do that if all they can remember is watching you read the content of 38 PowerPoint slides. So don't focus on what you're going to say. Focus on what they're going to say. Your job is to be the ringmaster, and their job is to deliver the performance. And once you've realized this, once you've realized that it's the other people attending the meeting who are going to do all the work, well, your job becomes easy. Instead of focusing on what you want to say and how you want to say it, think about devising a structure that will make sure that they do all the talking. You know, there's an old trainer's trick that's worked for me for many years, and it's this. Someone asks me a question, I don't answer it. Instead, I say, hey, that's a really good question. What do the rest of you think the answer is? That way, you turn what could be just a 5-second response into a 10-minute learning experience. And, of course, you can still give your own answer if someone else doesn't come up with it first.
How's your Lunch and Learn plan coming along?
Pretty well, I think. I've been asking myself, what do I want them to discuss, and what do I want them to learn from this?
And what do you want them to discuss and learn?
Well, I want them to discuss how best to respond to customers when they call in from the whole life promotion, and I want them to exchange ideas with each other about recognizing objections.
Sounds good.
Sounds good to me, too. Now, the next thing is to work out how you're going to get the individuals attending the meeting to contribute. You could just ask each of them in turn to speak, but this is likely to produce a rather wooden response. What you're looking for is something a bit livelier than that. How about preparing a series of provocative questions for them to address?
Okay, let's start with handling objections. But before we do that, let me ask, what are some of the most common objections we run into?
How about, I don't want to change my lifestyle to suit an insurance company?
Good. All right, let's have some more objections.
Yeah, one that I get is I'm a smoker.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Or, you know, I'm too old to afford insurance.
Or some say, I have dangerous hobbies.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You know, one I get a lot is I don't have any dependents. Why do I even need insurance?
Great. All right, let's work on these.
People enjoy and benefit from a meeting to the extent that they participate in it. Participation is everything. So your job is to get them to participate. And you also want the meeting to get somewhere. You don't want to have a glorified conversation that goes round in circles and gets nowhere. So be clear in your own mind what the outcome is that you want. Do you want the meeting to decide something, or do you want the meeting to learn something? What is the outcome that you want?
So, what do you want to get out of your meeting?
Well, I want them to learn how to identify objections.
Okay, and how are you going to do that?
Well, I want them to really focus on listening to what the customer is saying. That way they can identify what the obstacles are.
You know, people forget most of what they learned or what they discussed at a meeting, but try to get them to remember just one big thing. Ask yourself, if they only remember one thing from this meeting, what would I like that to be? And that's your main objective for the meeting.
Great job, everyone. So what was the most important thing we've discussed today?
Well, I'd say the most important thing is improving how we're listening to our customers.
Everybody agree with that? Yes, I think that's right. We've really established that listening is a critical part of identifying objections. Great meeting. Thank you for your participation.
And that's the secret of a successful meeting. Don't focus on what you're going to say, focus on what they're going to say. And you do that by preparing a series of questions or discussion topics for them to address. And be clear about what you want to get out of the meeting. And make sure that if they remember nothing else, they remember that.